Alright, welcome to the Webster Groves 8th grade science. This is the first video notes for the chemistry unit. This is goal 1. The goal is that students use the periodic table to identify elements and their characteristics. More specifically, we are using the table to determine the atomic number, the atomic mass, protons, neutrons, and electrons for an element. If you're at a level 4, you are able to give some characteristics of a family of elements in the periodic table. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, a little bit of history. Where did all this come from? Well, way back, like ancient man was first able to discover some of the precious metals like gold, silver, tin. These were easy to separate from other elements, and once they got to these metals, they were not able to break it into other groups anymore. So some of the precious metals were the very first to be discovered. We're talking like 1 to 2 AD. So then they got more and more, and by the 1900s they had close to 63 elements, and we now have 117. So Mendeleev, late 1800s, was the first guy to put the elements in order by atomic mass, and he put things with similar properties together. So if you look at the periodic table, it's close to that organization, but a guy named Henry Moseley came along and he said, you know what, let's not put them in order by atomic mass, let's put the elements in order by atomic number, or in other words, the number of protons. So Henry Moseley's change to Mendeleev's periodic table is what we are currently using today. So here we got it, the elements, and these elements are what all matter is made of. Anything that has volume, anything that has a mass, is made of one of these elements or a combination of these elements. And all of these elements have a solid, a liquid, and a gas state at a certain temperature or a certain pressure. Okay? We see these elements and we experience these elements every day. We're breathing in one of these elements now, and we're breathing out a different one. You're looking at elements when you're looking at the screen. Everything, all matter is made of the elements. So, what you know. What is the periodic table? We've talked about that in class. The symbols, okay? The symbols are either the first 1 or 2 letters of the element, or sometimes they originate from the Greek or Latin name. Like, for example, lead is PB, and that's kind of weird, PB is not the first 2 letters of lead, so what's up with that? Well, it's the Latin name, which is something like plumbum. Who knows? I don't speak Latin. But at times the symbol will originate from the Greek or Latin name. Sometimes the element is named after the person who discovered it, or it is named where it was found. When you think of elements like Einsteinium, or elements that francium, that's another one, where it was found. Okay, so here's what it tells us. The atomic number, this is the number of protons. It's also the number of electrons. Okay? Then we have the symbol, atomic symbol, and then we have atomic mass. Atomic mass is the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. Okay? So let's figure this out. I have 2 acronyms for you: APE and MAN. Okay, so mass minus atomic number equals neutrons. So M-A-N. Remember, man does math. Mass minus atomic number equals neutrons. So mass minus atomic number. Number of neutrons in an element of boron would be 5. Okay? So that's man. Mass minus atomic number equals neutrons. Remember that. That's helpful in remembering how to figure this stuff out. Then we have another one. Ape. The atomic number, right here, is equal to the number of protons and is also equal to the number of electrons. Okay, so trick question. Ready? What's the atomic number of boron? Hopefully you said 5. What's the number of protons? 5. And what's the number of electrons? 5. Okay, so that is APE. That's the acronym I'm going to use for that. Atomic number equals protons equals electrons. Apes don't do math. Man does math. Mass minus atomic number equals neutrons. Okay, so electrons can be arranged in an order. They have electron layers or shells, and there are a certain number of electrons that can fit in each layer. So the first one is 2, next one's 8, next one's 18, etc. I'm not going to assess you over this, but it's good to know. Now, atoms don't look like this, okay? But we use this model to kind of explain what's going on. Okay, so this is actually a lie. This is not true. But to really grasp what it looks like, it's mind-blowing. So this is an 8th grade way to understand what it might look like. The total number of electrons is equal to, you should fill in this blank and say number of protons or atomic number. Moving on. Okay, 3 groups or 3 families. We have metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. In order to achieve a level 4, you're going to have to know these groups and families and know some characteristics. Okay, so metals. Metals are solid at room temperature. Duh. The only one that is not like that is mercury. It's a liquid metal. If you've ever seen it, it's really funky. Metals reflect light. They can be shaped. They are more dense than other groups. They are good conductors of heat and electricity, and their shape is easy to change. We can change metal into any shape we like. Nonmetals. Nonmetals are gases, or they are brittle solids at room temperature. They are essential for life, such as oxygen or such as carbon. They have a low melting point and do not conduct heat or electricity. Metalloids are a mix of both metals and nonmetals. Heat and electricity can travel through these, but not as easily as they do for metals. Metalloids can be shiny or dull, but like metals, their shape can be easily changed. Okay, so that wraps up Goal 1 for chemistry. You need to make sure that you have an understanding of how to get the number of protons, number of electrons, and number of neutrons for each element. You need to know the atomic number and the atomic mass for each element. Okay? You need to be able to read the periodic table and know what it is telling you. If you are not able to do that right now, pause the video, rewind, and go back to the beginning. Look at that part again so that you can come to class and be able to practice this, be able to use this in your project, be able to look at the periodic table and know what it is telling you. Alright, well that's it, and that's all for this video. If you have questions, please come see me in the morning or after school on Wednesdays. Later.